Hey guys, Jeremy here at My Way MFG. Back on the Model T for a while today. Let me show you what we're doing. Picked up two 1935 16-inch spoked wheels today. Gave 20 bucks a piece for them. Whoops, 10 bucks a piece for them. 20 for the pair. That's better, right? I was going to put them on the front of this so I could get it rolling because I don't have a match set with the Model A wheel. But I stopped down at Terry's. He said I ought to re-drill the flange and put them on back and then find another Model A wheel. I think he's right. That looks pretty good like that. But for today, I'm just going to see if I can get them on the front so I got a roller again. As it is right now, I don't have any lug nuts on that. And then this side here, I've got this little short, flat 15-inch wheel. So I'd like to get them 235 wheels on the front and just see if I can get things rolling for now. Reason I went to Terry's, he had this steering column. It's got the steering box on it and the steering wheel. He gave it to me. This came out of a 47 pickup truck. I think this one will work better in our application than that other steering box with the rag joint. It'd look more correct also. Right now it's locked up. There's a key in there that's stuck and won't move, and we're gonna have to work on that a little bit to get everything moving again. There's my other wheel. Popped that hubcap off. Looks like I found me an ant nest. These wheels have still got the hubs on them. I would love it if those hubs would fit back on that spindles. Right now I've got like that 91 F-150 disc brake hub on there. It works and rolls good, but I would need one more of them, and the disc brake doesn't look appropriate. But if 35 Ford hub would fit on a 46, 47 axle, we got lucky the first time getting that F-150 hub to fit. When we pulled the Chevy hub off, maybe we'd get lucky twice. Might try it. I got that Chevy hub off of the driver's side. This is our hub off of that 35 wheel. Broke two nuts, broke two lugs off of it. Tried to put it on there. It just about fits. It's about one size too small. But as I look at it, there's our 90, or no, that's a Chevy brake rotor and hub. I think the outer is the same size, so I'm going to pry the seal out and see if the inner bearing will fit back in this race. At the present moment, it looks like it might. All right, back in here, I got the rear bearing out of this hub, and I just got the bearing out of the back of this hub. See if this fits in there. It does not. It's too small on the outside. We need that bigger hole on the inside, but it needs to be this big on the outside. And the difference might be made up in that race. Maybe if I changed the races, I could get it to work. Keep messing with it here for a minute. Okay guys, the spindle size was different this time. We just got real lucky that first time. But what I've learned or gathered from all this, the F-150 hubs and the Chevy hubs, and I don't know what Chevy they came off of, maybe like Camaro or something, who knows. They were the same, bearings were the same, inner and outer, interchangeable completely, both of which fit this 47 drop axle. When I got the 35 hubs, the inner bearing size that goes on the spindle is about a size too small. It wouldn't fit back on this spindle. And the outer bearing size is bigger, so I couldn't use the other bearing. So what I ended up doing, I knocked the races out. I put the race off the F-150 hub inside the other race, and I was able to get them tightened up on there and spinning good. I can't drive it like that, but at least I can move it around now and it'll work through the mock-up, you know. But I'm gonna have to get on the interweb and see if I can find the right size bearings. I was just measuring this out, and this is the spindle, so that's going to be our inner bearing size. Or no, that would be the bearing size we do not need. I need to measure the 35 hub outer dimension, and then the dimension on these spindles that are on the axle, and then see if I can order some bearings that work. But we'll get back on that. I don't need to do it today. I've also learned a lot about these wheels. I was noticing these spoked Ford wheels were all different sizes, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but what I'm gathering is if it's a 21-inch metal spoked wheel, it came off a later Model T. The early ones had wood spokes. The later ones in production had metal spokes, 21-inch. When they went to Model A's, they went down to 19-inch. So if you've got a 19-inch wheel, it's Model A. When the 32s came out, they dropped another inch and went to 18. So 32s are 18s. 33s and 34s, I think, are 17s. I don't know. Maybe not all or one or the other. Maybe some of the early 33s were still 18s. I'm not sure. But I do know that 35, or at least I think I do know, 35 is the only ones that use 16s. So these two front wheels I just got are 35 wheels, I think. And then of course the other wheel that I've got here that Terry gave me is a 19-inch Model A wheel. And I'd like to find maybe one more of those. Possibly put these 35 wheels on the back and then put Model A wheels on the front. But for right now, I'm gonna just put the 35 ones on the front so I can roll it and mock it up and get my fender height right and all of that. I needed a matched pair to work with the mock-up. But if I do put the 35 wheels on the back, I got the wrong bolt pattern. I've got 6-bolt Chevy wheels on the back, so that's going to be a lot of messing around to do that. I would have to knock them studs out, re-drill the holes. Some of the new holes would probably interfere with the holes that are already there. Some of them, if not all of them, would probably have to get welded shut before I re-drilled them. And I can do it, but it'd be a lot of dicking around. But for right now, let me show you where we're at. There's a 35 wheel on the front on this side. And I've started mocking the fender up. I got that screwdriver in there holding this down because it wants to flex up, and then some blocks of wood there. That's approximately where it needs to go. It needs to come in just about an inch. In order to do that, I got to notch the frame rail right here a little bit to get that to come in further. This flange down here, after I get it in place, I think I'll scribe that to the frame and then just stitch weld it on there. There's a point up here that's going to have to get cut off that's interfering with the cross member. And after I get it welded in a few places, I can probably bend and tweak on it and get it where I need to be. Down here, there's going to be some running board mounts that'll come down. This will attach to a wood running board, and that'll make that all good and stiff. But yeah, that's getting close, I think, to where it needs to be. Those wheels on there really give her a beefy look, didn't it? It kind of looks like a badass work truck at the moment. It looks like something to be feared. But anyway, I'm gonna keep messing with this for a while and just see where I get with it. It's kind of cute. Those are 16s on the back, so right now I got the same tire size all the way around. But yeah, anyway, I'll keep going here. Just measured off the top of here. I give myself 1.5 inches. I think I need to come in about 1 inch. I figured that'd give me a little room. And then I just tried to keep this line straight with the line on the frame rail. So we'll start there, see what that looks like, and see if we can get it to slide in a little bit. Go from there. Let's give that a shot. Okay, I got that slid in my notch, and I'm looking. We're still out a little bit, you can see here, but the back is kicked out even more. If you eyeball it with this back wheel, you can see that back, or that bottom part of that fender needs to come in more. So I'm gonna notch it maybe another inch. Try it one more time here. Get the first one fitting, the next one will be easier. We can just take measurements off of it, you know. I think it's getting pretty close to where it needs to be. Notch there. This here is you know, curling up on me. I need to get a bracket in here so I can mount this bottom portion of the fender and get all this straightened out down here, and then I'll work my way forward. But I need something good to hold that. Had some of this real thick, gosh, I don't know what that is, 1/4 inch or more, flat bar, straight. I didn't know how it'd bend without heat. I don't have any gas for the torch. I just put it in a vise, kind of in the middle, so I could get good leverage on it. Got that bent into a 90 pretty easily. So I'm gonna cut this down into shape and get me a Fender / running board mount made right here, and start mocking this up a little bit. we're about where we need to be now. The height looks right for the running board. I think all of that's good. This front edge might need to come in just a little, but I think what's holding me up right now, I need to get this corner whacked off of here. Might do that next. I'm going to cut this point off here and try to keep a little bit of this roll, I think. Just see if I can kind of scribe that in. Cut that along that line and see where that gets us. Might ought to kind of weld these splits up while I'm at it. I said we weren't going to make it perfect, but kind of did. I can't get it welded up much better than that. Got a pretty significant bend in this fender right here, and before I welded that, it would flex in and kind of get me into the position I wanted. Now that I've got that welded, my fender won't go back in place. So I'm gonna have to try to kind of straighten this edge right here and then refit it again. I think we're getting pretty much where we need to be. I'm gonna start cutting this inner flange off. There's that line I just scribed on there. I think I'm gonna cut that. I've got a couple stitch welds down there in that corner and up along this edge. Right now I got this split in this fender right here, and I've got a lot of movement right there. I'm gonna try to get this just roughly tacked back together and see if it takes some of this movement out of here. Guys, it's getting windy out here. Got all that squared up and looking pretty nice. That bracket's setting pretty level. I think the fender's where it needs to be. I had a split right here that I ended up welding it up because it was creating a lot of movement. It really stiffened things up after welding that together. I just got this stitched in a few places. Probably gonna need a couple more braces on it, but it looks good. I got it pretty well straightened out. Centered up pretty good. This front wheel looks pretty straight right now. This one here's got a lot of toe into it. I think it's got something to do with the tie rods that those guys put on here. Anytime I see a piece of copper sweated into the piece of steel on tie rods, yeah, I wonder about that. That's okay, we'll get that better. Not to worry. We got quite a ways here, I'm thinking. I wanted to do one more thing before I quit, and that was get this steering wheel stuck through here, the column, you know, and just kind of get it located where I want it. I got it so it feels pretty good in here. Seems like that's about where I would want it. I've just got it propped up there. If I go down underneath where the steering box is at, it's not even close. In fact, it's so far off, it looks like it'd be easier to hook the steering to the rear wheels. That's okay. Something's gonna have to get cut, shortened, welded, whatever. We'll make it work. I think I need to go ahead and get the rocker panel on this side and the door. Get the fender on the other side so I got both sides caught up to each other. And then probably get back on the steering. But anyway, got quite a bit done. Happy of that. It's looking good. you guys are working on a deal like this, don't get frustrated. Just put in that first piece and it'll tell you where the next piece goes. And then put in the third piece. Pretty soon you got all the pieces in, right? Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all them things. We'll catch you on the next one. Later, Jeremy.